The Michael Berry Show.
Yesterday we were discussing sugar prices vis-a-vis corn prices, and that one of the factors that drove Coca-Cola, the largest purchaser of sugar in the world at one point, to abandon the cane sugar that made it so delicious, to which we had grown accustomed our entire lives, when they switched to corn syrup. Decades later, we all pined for the good old days of cane sugar. And that what had occasioned that was that sugar prices had risen so high for a number of different reasons, that they're higher here than anywhere else in the world, which is why some food manufacturers have moved operations outside the United States, because if your greatest product, your greatest input is sugar, and you pay more for it here than elsewhere, at some point the economies of scale make sense to move operations where labor is cheaper, regulations are fewer, taxation is lower, and oh, by the way, the product that you are finishing off for your end consumable costs a lot less. It's almost a no-brainer. We're driving businesses out of the United States. I received an email from a fella who said, you need to talk to Kelly Railean. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. She had a rum distillery in San Leon, and she had called in yesterday, but we were in the middle of our conversation with Terry, and we didn't get to talk to her. We asked her to call back today, and Kelly is on the line. Kelly, first of all, how do you pronounce your last name?
Yeah, you were right. It's Railean.
Okay. So tell me about your rum distillery.
We started the rum distillery in 2005, my husband Matt and I. We did it just because we were kind of into pirates. We still are. I came from the wine and spirits industry, worked for a distributorship for 10 years. I'm a wine sommelier. And we saw that there wasn't good rum made in the United States. And then I had kind of seen what had happened with craft beer, because I used to sell it back in the day when you couldn't sell a craft beer, and the next thing everybody wanted them, and same
Who
happened
did you
with
work
boutique
for?
wine. And
Which
we thought
distributor?
that I used to work for Republic, so Republic
okay.
Beverage.
I figured it was Glazer or Republic.
Now it's RNGC. Yeah,
sure.
yeah, they're the two big ones here. So
Okay.
So we had this great idea while drinking bad rum one day that we're going to make American-made rum. Why isn't there American-made rum? Because we grow sugarcane, right here, Texas, Louisiana, Florida, Gulf Coast, and we thought, geez, that makes sense, but why isn't anybody doing that? And we found out the main reason has to do with the rum subsidy that goes to rums made from the U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. And we're like, aha, there's a tax cover over. And that was why there's really, at the time, back in the early 2000s, there really weren't any rum companies here in the United States anymore. It had all shifted to those two islands, those couple of islands, because there's a big tax advantage. So their price point's a lot
Hold
lower.
on, Kelly. This is one of those things that people don't know. And so you think, well, what if I were to want to buy an American-made rum? Let's say I'm in a pro-American mood. I've bought my American-made furniture from Mac. I want to buy my American-made rum. Americans just don't make any rum anymore. And people don't realize how tax policy and subsidies and governmental intervention drive things like that. It's not that there aren't people willing to do it. There isn't the expertise. There isn't the product. It is that governmental intervention drove the American maker out of that market, and you would never know it. It's one of those hidden awful things where government mucks everything up. Okay, but you said, you know what the heck, we're going to do it anyway.
Well, yeah, but we were a bit naive because at the time we maybe didn't quite understand the ramifications of the tax cover over, and it amounts to about $4 to $6 per bottle once it goes through, because we couldn't sell our stuff direct to folks. We had to put it through the three-tiered, actual kind of four-tiered system. So I'm very
familiar,
rum,
Kelly.
I know you are with the Redneck Country Club, yeah. So it was one of those things that we realized, wow, we can't compete. I mean, your price point right off the bat, just because of taxes, your price point's going to be $4-6 more on the shelf than something else. And then not to mention the fact that we're little. So when I was buying molasses, I wasn't buying, millions of gallons. And when I was buying yeast or bottles, for instance, I mean, if you have a big contract and you're buying 1 million bottles, you get them for next to nothing. When you're forced to buy a truckload, you're paying, 3, 4, 5 times what the big guys are paying. So it was just, it was eye-opening, to say the least.
From whom did you buy your sugar?
We bought, I don't even know the name of the company anymore. I want to say we went through kind of a middleman. International Molasses, I believe, is who we used. And
Okay.
they were initially just a food company, but we convinced them to, we had looked at a distillery down in South Texas, but they were only doing a lower grade molasses that had a lot of sulfur in it. So when you make product from that without actually treating the molasses, you end up a real skunky kind of tasting product because it's got the sulfur in there. So we were doing
interesting
a
how
higher
many
grade.
products that is true about. My best friend, Uncle Jerry McGill, has a company called Liquid Assets, and they are a distributor, and he is known online as Dr. Drinks. He does the drinks for some of the major restaurant companies in the country, and he will create a pina colada, for instance, just for them. But he imports what is the stuff that goes into margarita wine? Agave.
Agave?
And he'll talk about, he'll lay out 3 different things and have me taste it, and what do you think? And I can tell that I don't like item number 1, but I don't know why. It's like I know what music I like and what I don't, but I don't have the music theory to understand why I don't like it. I can understand I don't like it, but I know I don't like it intuitively, but I don't know why. And he'll say, well, it's skunky because of this, or it's this. What do they do to the molasses that kind of finishes it, that makes it clean and not I'm sorry. Yeah, hold tight. I could talk to you about this all day. I love these stories.
It's blinky, it's blinky, it's fun for a girl and a boy.
I like Margaberry Show.
Kelly Railean is our guest. She founded, along with her husband Railean, Rum. And I think it's fascinating to drill down and get granular into the details of the rise and fall, or the organic ending of a dream, an American dream. This is exactly how other American dreams are launched that go international, whether it be Apple or McDonald's or Microsoft or you name it. We shouldn't be putting impediments in the way to our success while doing things that encourage businesses born here to move abroad, or that kill businesses born here. All right, Kelly, so you're working at Republic Distributors, and you get the bug. You want to have your own brand of your own product. Let's talk about the nuts and bolts and dollars and cents of how that worked.
Oh man, it was hard. We were only in our early to mid 30s, and we don't have kids. And my husband's really good with finances, and myself too. We live within our means, really live within our means, and drive used cars and all that stuff. So we had a decent amount of cash sitting around, and we thought, you know what, let's make this work for us. And so we bought some property, and we started a business plan, and then started just working on getting our permits, state, federal, all that
You
stuff.
bought the property in San Leon?
Yep. Back
And
in
how many acres was that?
2005.
Do you still own that
Oh,
property?
it's not acres. San Leon, Bay Cliff, everything's done by kind of like lots, like trailer lots. So I think we have 19 lots or something like that.
But they're big. I mean,
It's
those
probably
lots are
maybe
big.
half an
aren't they?
acre.
Oh, okay.
They're
All right.
decent size. They're 25 by 125, I want to say.
How did you choose that?
Well, we needed somewhere that was unincorporated, because what we found, we were looking in Kemah, League City, places like that, and the issue there is going to be that you now have state, not just state and county, but then you also have city taxes, and then the regulations. There are oodles more of them when you're looking at doing something within the city limits, and that's why we discovered that a lot of businesses put their business right outside of a city limit in an unincorporated area, which is San Leon Bay Cliff is unincorporated. It's county. And we wanted to be near the water because we're pirates, we're into rum, we're sailors, all that kind of fun stuff. And so we wanted to be close to the water. And then just 2 blocks from the property we bought was our favorite place in the world, which was destroyed in Hurricane Ike, which was the San Leon Marina, which they affectionately referred to as the Buccaneer Bar, and that was our hangout. So we bought land 2 blocks from there. It's now the site of a Pier 6 restaurant. So.
Oh, my friend Ray Breyers, the Pipe Yard Inc. He buys and sells pipe all day long. I mean, entire pipelines across multiple states. A fascinating business. I'll call him, just ask him, tell me about his latest deal. But he gets all his deals done at Pier 6. He loves Pier 6.
Yeah.
All right. So
no, it's a great place. Yeah, and that used to be that used to be the San Leon Marina. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. All right. And then, but you didn't ever move there. You just held on to the property.
Yeah. We bought the property back in, I want to say 2005, 2006, and started building everything out, and then got the rest of our permits. We got our Fed permit in 06, and I want to say we got our state permit in late 06 or the first of 07. And that's when we started going ahead and distilling rum, and then eventually we made the blue agave spirits and vodka and whiskey.
To put this in
and all the while we just saved up along the way. Yeah.
When you say saved up along the way,
we would buy equipment as we could afford it, and the first thing was a still, and we did take out a loan. We took out a loan for equipment. And then when we finally were able to get the laws changed to allow us to drink our own product on site, sample and serve cocktails and sell bottles there, we went ahead and really bit the bullet, and we built the building next door to the factory, which was the Buccaneer Bar. And for that, we had some money of our own to finance that, but we needed a loan for that. So we did take out a loan for that. And then over the course of the next few years, we just buckled down, and I didn't ever pay myself, and we paid off the loans pretty quick within a few years.
Well, that's usually the case, isn't it? The entrepreneurial dream.
That's why my husband had to have a job.
That is exactly right. People have this idea when you show up and you look around and you multiply how many people by what you're spending. Oh, they're getting rich. Most businesses are, if at best, they are staying afloat, and you find out that it took 20 years to save up the amount of money to open the door. There is a spouse that is still working. They've cashed in their retirement. It's all on the table. So when you write that whimsical review because somebody was having a bad day or you were having a bad day and want to be a critic, what that's doing to somebody, it's for somebody that's never, everybody should own a small business because it really gives you a whole new perspective on life and what it's like as an experience there. So then when did you close shop?
We closed in February of this year, so just recently. I mean, I still had some operations going on possibly into late February, early March, as far as just kind of closing out some more inventory, and then we just kind of had a free-for-all. It was a lot of locals and stuff and our regular customers, everything off the walls and furniture, all that kind of fun stuff. A lot of people wanted specific things, so that went on probably through March.
And what is the next phase for you?
We're just kind of, we have a lot of ideas, and my husband is a master of spreadsheets. He's got spreadsheets and all sorts of crazy stuff that he's going to do and this, that, and the other. But we're really just kind of taking a little moment, too, because I was usually working sometimes, 70 hours a week, usually 50, 60 easily. And he had his real job, in the oil and gas world. And then he did a lot of work for our business, too. He'd come down on Saturdays and help bartend, and he did the crazy stuff, the taxes and TABC, TTB, IRS. So it was a lot of work.
Just the compliance portion. I used a lawyer named Al Van Huff, and he represents specs, so he's forgotten more about the liquor industry than I'll ever know. It was amazing to me when we started Michael Berry Moonshine, and our idea was moonshine is 5% what vodka is. I don't know the number. It was but if we could find the power of our brand. So if we could develop a following of moonshine, we could pivot to vodka, which is just multiple washes of moonshine, which is a much more popular category. So if we could make it in moonshine, we could kill it in vodka. And so that was the plan. But we outsourced our production to a facility that didn't mind the shop, and it exploded and almost killed one of my best friends in the world.
Oh.
And I lost the stomach for it, and he didn't want me. To this day, he wishes we'd get back into it, and it burned 95% of his body. But he loved it. He lived it. He was the face of our brand. And I said, no, Darren Whitaker's his name. And I said, no, Darren, I talk on the radio. It's what I do. I want no part of that ever again. And he was there sampling some new flavors. But it's just one of those things to get that call and rush to the hospital and meet my buddy, and you can't go in and see him, and he's all burned up, and all the regulatory, all the restrictions, the comptroller, all of the nonsense that you have. It's a wonder anybody stays in business. Kelly Railean, you're wonderful. Thanks for being with us and sharing your story.